Tom Leykis is a legend, a beast. Unfortunately, many people have learned about Tom Leykis when it was way too late. A lot of people found out about Tom Leykis when it was way too late. All right. I remember his name. I remember him in the Rush Limbaugh days. He was kind of, trying to be a Rush Limbaugh type of guy, shock jock, and get into the political arena. I remember him then. And then I didn't know he made that transition into talking about relationships for quite a long time, 15, 20, 30 years. If you think you're tired of me talking about relationships, okay. Tom Leykis made a whole career out of it for 15, 20, 30 years. He's kind of still doing it. He lost his voice. But yeah, Tom Leykis is a legend.
Welcome back to Red Pill Examined, where I look at and debunk red pill talking points and expose red pill content creators as hypocrites, liars, and scammers. And in today's video, we'll be looking at the criminal history of Tom Leykis, who is referred to as the godfather of red pill ideology. Now, while most men know about Tom Leykis' 4 marriages, all of which ended in divorce, what many of them are unfamiliar with is that in 1993, while working in Boston, Tom Leykis was involved in a domestic violence dispute with his 4th wife, where he was arrested and charged. And so the purpose of this video is to bring these things to light, all of which are a matter of public records, to show that Tom Leykis has never been someone credible when it comes to relationships, as evidenced by his own personal life, and thus should never be taken seriously when it comes to that subject. So without further ado, let's now get to the incident in question. Now, according to the official police report, on December 22nd, 1993, Tom Leykis and his wife Susan had an argument while in bed around 1 a.m. after coming home from a Christmas party. As a result of this argument, Tom Leykis, according to the police report, threw a glass at his wife, which hit her in the head. He then proceeded to push her head into a brick fireplace located in their bedroom, then grabbed her and, per the police report, threatened to kill her. The officers who responded to the 911 call observed, once they arrived, scratch marks on Susan Leykis' left forearm and felt a large bump on her head. This led to Tom Leykis being placed under arrest and charged with assault and battery by dangerous weapon and threatening to commit a crime, specifically murder, per the police report. And after being held overnight, Tom Leykis was released on his own recognizance and a trial date was set. Now, according to Tom Leykis' lawyer, Jeffrey Denner, the alleged attack was quote-unquote an absolutely minor tiff that almost went unreported. He also stated that it got out of hand because both sides were drinking at a Christmas party and clearly have some issues they need to work out. Now, a few months later, on March 9, 1994, prosecutors dropped all charges after Tom Leykis' attorney agreed to a deal that would settle the case without Tom Leykis having to admit guilt. However, as part of the deal, Tom Leykis was placed on probation for a year and was ordered to attend a batterist program at the Center for Prevention of Domestic Violence in Los Angeles. Now, while Tom Leykis oftentimes likes to brag about how little tolerance he has with women, it must be noted that after this incident, he chose to stay with his wife Susan for an additional 9 years. And so given that fact, that only leaves us with 2 possible scenarios as it pertains to this incident, neither of which make Tom Leykis look good. So either 1, the attack did take place, which means that Tom Leykis assaulted his wife and or threatened to kill her, or number 2, everything that his wife said was a lie, and Tom Leykis, after being arrested, charged, given probation, and ordered to attend domestic violence classes, chose to stay with his wife anyways. Now, in my personal opinion, this was clearly a case in which both parties were extremely toxic for each other, which is why his wife declined to seek a restraining order, while Tom Leykis gladly took her back. Nevertheless, the purpose of this video was to show through this incident that Tom Leykis has no credibility when it comes to relationships, as evidenced by his own personal life, and thus should never be taken seriously when it comes to that subject. This video was also meant to highlight the willful ignorance and or lack of discernment of most red pill men, as well as red pill content creators and even men's rights activists, who have not only endorsed Tom Leykis, but have also propped him up as this great example that men should listen to and follow. And so a question that Red Pill men need to ask themselves in light of this information is, how can a man like Tom Leykis be trusted in the realm of relationships when he tells men to sleep with married women, as covered in a previous video, and whose checkered past includes 4 failed marriages, including an incident where he was arrested and charged with assault and battery by a dangerous weapon and threatening to murder his own wife.
You know what I heard was all the time was the scream we used to use. The woman screaming.
The over-the-top lady scream.
We used it a lot of time as Tom Leykis' wife.
Right.
As he was beating her with a Yule log and throwing her into the fireplace.
Allegedly. Oh, Tom Leykis?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's a legend. I mean, there were
reports up in Boston.
There were a lot of news stories about him beating his wife after a Christmas party.
Yeah, the story that was reported up in the Boston area.
You bitches.
Yeah.
He really,
Leykis 101.
He really stinks.
He does. I do the same show every day.
Yeah. Come on, we're going to tell you how to get chicks. Yeah. Okay, Tom. He apparently there were reports up in Boston that he was at a Christmas party. His wife was a little inebriated. Took her home. He was pissed off at her. Took her home. They got in some kind of altercation that the police had to be called for. And he had physically thrown her into the fireplace on Christmas Eve as they were fighting. Come on! Just beat her up and throw her in the fireplace. Merry Christmas!
You have to do it. You have to take them and stick them in the fireplace.
These bitches don't listen.
You know what I can't stand about guys like him? He's one of those people, if you agree with him, he'll totally talk to you, but then if you disagree with him, people come on that show and actually start to make a decent point, and he just yells over them and then hangs up on them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, dude, if you're going to debate. You know? That's all I'm saying, Andy.
That will happen today on our show.
Hell yeah. Tip number 2, don't hit your date with a Yule log. Jason from Park Ridge, been listening a while. You ever hear those great allegations?
No, what?
Up in Boston. Tom Leykis, it seems he was arrested, right? Yeah, he was drinking at a Christmas party, and he went to his house with his chick and got in a big fight, and the cops were called, and it turns out he was hitting his wife at the time, wasn't it? Or girlfriend, was
whatever,
it?
After the,
whatever it was.
The radio station's Christmas party.
After the Christmas party with a log from the fireplace, and then tried to throw her in the fireplace.
So how can you not like this guy?
I know. Come on.
You gotta respect.
Get in the fireplace.
Pig probably complained about her gift.
Leykis 101. Hit her with a Yule log.